Hi everyone, Chrissy Cheng from CyberArk here. In this section, I'd like to talk about automation and collaborations for security-related operations. We'll take cloud entitlements as an example to discuss and design an automated workflow that consists of CyberArk solutions, ChatOps, and SecOps platforms in order to drive operational efficiency and defense against cybersecurity attacks. We're going to cover some background about the current trends and its challenge, why cloud entitlements are so important, and what exactly is CEM. We'll design an automated workflow together and provide you a sample demonstration on what it could look like. By combining various cutting-edge technology to streamline the operation and also enable the cloud architects and operators to manage cloud entitlements anywhere. Let's get started by talking about the market trends. Digital transformations accelerate the adoption of cloud computing across the globe. While many companies were already in the process of enabling a remote workforce or digitalizing their business, the global lockdown put this program into overdrive. Over 90% of the companies are now in the cloud, which is massive. Sensitive systems and access are rapidly moving to the cloud. Whether that means leaving and shifting on-premises workload by adopting SaaS or developing new cloud-native applications. 70% of the organizations using cloud services today plans to increase their cloud spending. And for the very first time in 2020, organizations invested more in the cloud infrastructure than in on-premises data centers. One of the key challenges when it comes to the security of cloud platforms is managing cloud entitlements. According to the surveys conducted by ESG Research, cloud security experts rank over-permitted identities as the most common cloud service misconfiguration. At the same time, data breach from cloud misconfigurations cost $4.4 million on average. That's over 500,000 more expensive than the average breach. This is mission critical to tackle excessive cloud permissions. So what exactly is cloud entitlements? Well, typically it appears as toggle switch or checkbox for certain permissions, just like the door of your home. If it's on, we allow an identity to access certain resources on the cloud, just like we open a door to allow people to access. If it's off, we deny an identity to access certain resources on the cloud, just like we close the door to stop people from entering or exit. Typically, we want to keep the door open for the people that we welcome only, like family members or friends, and we would like to keep them shut and secure for all the others, in order to block the intruders or theft so that we can sleep well at night. Same principle applies to cloud entitlements. We want to allow access only for selected identities, like legitimate users and applications, and block all the others. Removing excessive permissions is also called least privilege principle. The principle of least privilege states that a subject should be given only those permissions needed for it to complete its task. If a subject doesn't need an access right, the subject should not have that right. Why over-permissioned identities is the most common cloud service misconfigurations? The short answer is, we have way too many entitlements to be managed in the cloud, and they're growing exponentially. Let's start with the cloud strategies. We got hybrid cloud strategies, where we combine the private cloud and public cloud platforms. We got multi-cloud strategies, where we leverage on different cloud services from different providers to get the better and more reliable services. We also got distributed cloud strategy. According to Gartner, this is one of the top strategic technology trends for 2021. The cloud services will be distributed to different locations that are physically closer to the users. That helps with low latency scenarios reduce their costs, and helps accommodate laws that dictate data must remain in a specific geographic area. All this results in an increasing number of cloud workspaces. For each cloud workspaces, there are an increasing number of entities. They could be users, they could be groups, they could be roles. And for each entities, there are literally thousands of permissions. And they change all the time. New systems and entities are added. The number of permissions for each entities are growing. Applications and resources are scaling dynamically without human intervention. Let's do the maths and calculate the time and effort required for managing cloud entitlements. Each cloud vendor has its own set of technologies and terminologies. We could multiply the number of cloud vendors by the number of workspaces that they have. Next, we can multiply them by the number of entities in each workspaces times the number of permissions for each entity. We could use the number of clicks as a matrix to measure the time and effort needed for each permission. After multiplying that to our formula, we could add the number of changes over time as the last multiplier. As you can see, the time and effort required to manage the cloud entitlements is huge. Some people refer to this kind of operations by click and point actions on a series of screens with clickable options as ClickOps. This type of manual operations are costly. They are time-consuming and error-prone. This generates negative impact from both operations and security point of view. And that's also a torture to your computer mouse and fingers. This is something we should avoid. This is the exact challenge that Cloud Entitlements Manager is built to resolve. Cloud Entitlements Manager, or CEM, is a SaaS solution from CyberArk that identifies unused and risky permissions for cloud identities that could be exploited by attackers, and we can remediate them with AI-generated policy corrections. Let's take a look at each layer and see how CEM addresses the challenges. First, CEM supports major cloud platforms, including AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP, as well as containerized technologies like EKS. Secondly, some of our clients have hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of workspaces. In order to allow CEM to connect to the workspaces, we need to onboard them to CEM. CEM provides flexibility and options to onboard your cloud workspaces. We can onboard the workspaces one by one, which is very suitable during trial or early stage of adoptions of SAM. We can onboard all or selected workspaces in our organization from the cloud platform as well. CEM can scan every workspace under an organization, or you can simply select an organization unit. In addition, organizations change over time too. CEM is capable to detect and onboard new workspaces automatically. Now the workspaces are well handled, let's move on to entities. CyberArk CEM will scan and analyze all the entities in each cloud workspaces and calculate their corresponding exposure level. Exposure, represented in Cloud Entitlements Managers as a percentage, is an aggregated risk for cloud entities. Granted permissions, resources attachment, and other exceptional factors influence on how this percentage is calculated. Exceptional factors include the level of permissions assigned to a role, whether as an administrator or shadow admin, or the entities is managed whether by MFA or CyberArk PAS solution. As these factors impact the risk being exploited by an attacker, it is critical to take them into considerations. Exposure levels helps organizations to see where the greatest source of risk are and what's the top recommendations that are strategically take the fastest path to risk reduction. It also provides quantifiable historical analysis of risk over time for each environment and platform, providing clarity when it comes to ROI and reporting. Automations can streamline the operations and enforce consistent security control. CEM provides two key features to integrate with third-party applications for automation. Event-driven alerts as Webhook can be sent by CEM to third-party applications such as security orchestrations, automation platforms, or pipelines to trigger automatic workflow. APIs are also provided by CEM to allow applications to retrieve details about the workspaces, entities, and related recommendations and remediations. These are the essential building blocks for the automatic workflow that we are going to design in a moment. Let's take one step further and look at the permissions of each entities. This privilege is the heart of the solution. Cloud Entitlements Manager uses AI to generate actionable recommendations. These AI-powered recommendations ensure all permissions are reviewed, while taking the guesswork out of crafting the new security enforcement that supports this privilege. Cloud Entitlements Managers also use AI to generate granular IAM policy that remove only excessive permissions, so that all necessary and valid access are preserved. And those remediations are highly granular and detailed in nature. They remove individual permissions that pose risk, preserving all necessary access for an identity to continue to perform its intended functions. So let's design an automated workflow for managing cloud entitlements together. For those who know me, I'm a big fan of Japanese animes since I was a kid. I find it very fascinating when a couple of small yet amazing robots transform and combine into one powerful and giant one. Perhaps that influenced my career as well, as for the last 20 years I ran IT operations organization, lead development teams, and I'm working at CyberArk now as a security company. Very mixed background. Anyway, let's combine and integrate some awesome emerging technologies together to streamline the process. Let's start from the very beginning, where everything is done manually, meaning that the cloud architects or operators need to monitor and review the cloud platforms through the cloud management console, identify the risk, and figure out the corresponding remediations manually. Now with CEM, the cloud platforms are monitored. Unused and risky permissions for cloud identities are detected and identified. Based on the exposure level, the cloud architects and operators can prioritize the review of recommendations and applies their remediation accordingly. This works great during the trial period or early stage of implementation. We can get some quick wins under an hour. Let's further streamline the process by shifting the task from the cloud architects and operators to automation solutions. Some refer this as SecOps, where IT or cloud security teams and operation teams are collaborate by integrating tools, processes, and technologies to keep an organization secure while reducing risk. It can be done by configuring CEM to send alerts to the automation tool solutions when events occur. Typical tasks in a SecOps workflow or pipelines include raising a change request ticket, updating records in configurations or access management systems, trigger some approval process, and those can be done automatically. In certain situations, especially when it comes to production, many organizations prefer to have a semi-automated pipeline and let the person in charge to make the final call for the change. It is also possible by selectively notify the cloud architect or operators for the final review and trigger the actions to the setup pipelines to apply the remediations. We do not work alone. In order to make the decision, we may need to consult our colleagues from the same or different team. Check the latest status of certain system or verify it, and see if it is aligned with scheduled downtime, etc. We are going to leverage on the ChatOps platforms that connects to people, tools, process, and automations into a transparent workflow. Popular ChatOps platforms nowadays include Slack and Microsoft Teams. As the remediations are applied by SecOps pipelines, the cloud architects or operators doesn't require to have the permissions to those sensitive resources on the cloud. Application codes within the digital supply chains, like a SecOps pipelines here, are an increasing target for sophisticated cyber attacks. With CyberArk Conjur as part of the CyberArk Identities security portfolio, it enables applications and automation tools to securely access the sensitive resources at scale. Secrets, including API keys, password, certificates, can be centralized in a secure storage. Security enforcement like secret rotations can be done regularly and automatically. CyberArk Conjur gives applications easy access to the credentials they need while keeping the secrets out of reach for attackers. In this sample pipeline, we have picked Jenkins and Slack as SecOps and ChatOps platforms. If you're using other automation solutions like Ansible, Terraform, ServiceNow, etc., don't worry, the concept stays the same. And in order to enhance the user experience, we have developed a simple Java application for Slack as chatbot that runs on AWS Lambda as a serverless function. Again, if you're using other chatbot platform, don't worry, the concept stays the same. The secrets used in this pipeline are all secured by CyberArk Conjur. Official Conjur plugin for Jenkins is available, and the Lambda application for Slack will leverage on its own AWS IAM role as the native attributes to authenticate with Conjur. This addresses the concern of Secret Zero. If you would like to check whether or not your current solutions are supported by CyberArk, please visit marketplace.cyberark.com or reach out to your local CyberArk representative for more details. With that out of the way, let's demonstrate. On the right of the screen is my mobile phone. It has internet connectivity and the Slack app is installed. That's what we have as the cloud architect. It's showing a nice wallpaper right now, and it will stay this way in the beginning of the demonstrations, because most actions will happen behind the scene. On the left, we have a browser that displays the solution consoles. It shows what's happening under the hood, and it's not visible to the cloud architects. Below that is a simple workflow diagram that illustrates the communications between systems. We have onboard our cloud solutions and configure the webhook from CEM to Jenkins. In a Jenkins pipeline, some events will simply send an alert, like connection errors. And for some events, like increase the exposure levels of multiple cloud entities, we would like to gather additional information, like recommendations from CEM, and notify our cloud architects to review them. Using the secret security retrieved from Conjur, Jenkins will authenticate with CEM and retrieve the remediation details through its CEM API, so that Jenkins can compose a summary message that will be posted to Slack channel as a notification to Cloud Architects team. When the message is posted, as you can see now on the right on my mobile phone, we have a notifications on a mobile phone right now. Let's tap on the notifications, and that will bring up the Slack app. As the font size of the mobile is a bit small, I've captured the desktop version as well, and it's shown on the left. This message summarizes the event details, list of entities that with the increased exposure level, and the corresponding exposure level and the remediations. All these can be customized at Jenkins. To streamline the process, I've replicated the options from CEM and add a checkbox for each entities to allow the cloud architects to preview the remediations of multiple cloud entities in one go. Simply select the desired entities and tap Preview Fix. The AWS Lambda applications that we build on Snack will authenticate with Conjure with its native IAM roles attributes to reduce secrets for CM. And with the CM API, again, we can retrieve all the AI-powered remediations with the actual script code and the IAM policy. Those are displayed on the application right now. The AI-powered remediations with the actual code and script looks great to me, so let me seek for my supervisor Jeffrey's approval. We can do that by posting a message to him in the same channel. While it is a conversation between two persons, everyone in the Slack channels can view the message. This increased workspace transparency, enable contextual collaborations, and of course, automations. Great, we got a green signal now, so let's apply the remediation. Using the same message from CEM, let's pick the selected entities and tap Fix Now button to trigger the process. Under the hood, the Lambda application for Snack will send the selected entities to Jenkins. With the secrets retrieved from Conjure, it will gather all remediations with the actual code and script and IAM policy from CM. As the secrets to the target's cloud platform are secured and managed by CyberArk Identity Solutions platform, they can be retrieved by Jenkins from Conjure as well, meaning that the AI-powered remediations can be applied automatically and directly by Jenkins, without disclosing any secrets to the cloud architects. Once the remediations are applied, a new message will be posted by Jenkins on Slack, informing the team that the instructions are completed successfully. Now, this is a sample pipeline demonstrated on how we can leverage on CyberArk CEM and ChatOps and SecOps platform solutions to manage cloud entitlements with a few taps and messages. Now let's review the result. From the operation point of view, the manual operations and the labor costs are reduced. The security enforcements are automated, hence reducing the number of human mistakes. Collaborations between humans and systems are enabled, and visibility has been increased. From the security point of view, consistent security controls across cloud platforms are enforced by automation. Least privileges are enforced, and secrets are all secured and rotated. What does this mean to you and your organization? First, we drive operational efficiency. User efficiently enabled, we get faster time to value, as well as higher leverage adoptions and ROI from identity security investments. We can also defend against a wide range of attacks. Risk maturity has been improved, revenues and sensitive data loss are avoided, and your corporate reputation is protected. Now let's wrap it up by talking about the key takeaways and what's next. We got two key takeaways. First, least privilege and cloud entitlements are critical in digital transformations, especially when you're adopting cloud computing technologies. And CyberArk can help you to drive operational efficiency and also defense against attack. All Cloud Entitlements Manager capabilities are available through our 30 days free trial. You can use the link on the screen or scan the QR code to access the registration form. It takes about 5 minutes for installations, and under an hour, CM can generate all those AI-powered remediations for you. Zero re-enforcement is required, and it doesn't require any CyberArk components or professional services. That's pretty much it. This is Quincy Chang from CyberArk. Thanks for watching.